need to come up, decide who's going to be the temporary chair, since we have a quorum.
I nominate Mike Clayton to be temporary chair.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I guess yep. The March 5th, 2025 meeting of the Ames Planning and Zoning Commission will come to order. The Planning and Zoning Commission is an independent advisory body of the City of Ames City Council. The Planning and Zoning Commission members are volunteers of the community and not part of the city administration. The Planning and Zoning Commission is supported by staff from the city's planning division. The commission is responsible for recommendations on matters involving subdivisions, annexations, master plans, and major site development plans, amendments to the zoning ordinance, and comprehensive plan amendments. We make our recommendations based on city codes, the facts presented, and input from the public. As an advisory commission, we welcome all comments regarding the proposed item. Please direct your input to the commission. If the proceedings become lengthy, we may ask that comments be focused on new information not previously presented. You may speak only once on an agenda item. If you wish to speak, please fill out a speaker information card and present it to the recording secretary. We ask that you come to the microphone and speak so that all comments may be recorded. The order of the proceeding for each item on the agenda will be as follows. First, the city staff will present the staff report regarding the agenda item. 2, the commission members will have an opportunity to ask questions of the city staff. 3rd, the applicant will be invited to make a statement regarding the request. 4th, the commission members will have an opportunity to ask questions of the applicant. 5th, members of the audience will be invited to come forward to offer comments and questions. 6th, once public comment is closed, city staff and the applicant will have an opportunity for concluding remarks. And then finally, the commission will discuss the application based on all presentations and any comments given and come to a recommendation for the city council. The discussion may include further questions of city staff and the applicant for clarification. And with that, we'll move to the first agenda item, which is introduction of commission members.
Julie Winter. Cheryl Moss.
Mike Clayton.
Mike Sullivan.
Matthew Voss.
You have tonight's agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So move.
Second.
Those approved say aye.
Aye.
Next, we have approval of the minutes of January 29th, 2025.
Move to approve the minutes.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Item number 5 is a public forum. The public forum is meant as a time for people from the public to come up and speak on a subject that is not on the agenda. Is there anybody that would like to speak on any other item? Hearing none, I'll close the public forum. Number 6 is the major site development plan alternative landscape plan for Furniture Mart at 329 Southeast 5th Street.
Thank you. So as you see, this is a request for a major site development plan for an alternative landscape plan for a proposed new furniture store to be built by Furniture Mart USA. They are the owner requesting the plan. The main item tonight for your consideration with this major site plan, which is a bit different than another major site plan where you'd be looking at the entire site, is in this particular case, you're only being asked to review the alternative landscape plan. Absent of an alternative landscape plan, this could be a minor site development plan approved by staff in this zone for this use type at this location. However, the owner is requesting the major site development plan for an alternative configuration of landscaping, which I'll go ahead and show you and talk through here real quickly. So the proposal that you see up there, you also got this with your packet. One thing I did want to note, this is slightly revised. We did not have this version in time for your packet. This area right here, which you have in 2 pieces, you have 1 page of most of the landscape plan, and then you have a 2nd page of that green space area in front of the loading dock. That's been added to this. So that's the only thing that's been added to this exhibit. The request is to be allowed, or Furniture Mart is requesting to arrange their front yard landscaping more into their west side yard, which is where their parking lot is located here at 329 Southeast 5th. So in the west side yard, you'll see there that access drive that goes north to Target is along the far west side here. The plan is for vehicles to enter off of that into the parking lot, and then the entrance to the store will be on the west side of the building. The front yard landscaping requirements require overstory trees and shrubs and grasses within the front yard of commercial sites in this case. So that would generally be where I'm running the mouse here along here, and then kind of coming over this way. So most all of the material should be in this area. That's one part of the request. The next part of the request is to also shift some of the parking lot trees away from the front of the building in this row of stalls. Normally there would be a handful of parking lot trees here in islands, and just shift those further into the middle and the west edge of the parking lot. And then finally, the third item is of course, the ability to be able to shift the landscaping and trees out of this landscaped area between the loading edge of the loading paving and the property line over here to the side. So with regard to the first item, the required number of shrub and grass plantings are being required, as we mentioned or are being provided rather, as we mentioned in your report, plus an additional number of those. So the applicant is providing a lot of extra shrubs and grasses, and they still do propose to have some clusters along the foundation of the building in the front yard, as well as those low plantings here in the front yard south of the parking lot. But they are proposing to arrange them along the west side here and throughout these islands to the north outside of the front yard up to about here in the parking lot in the side yard. Then additionally, they are adding more shrubs and grasses to the north in the islands, and also abutting the parking lot area. Then additionally, they are also providing some front yard shrubs here to the east of the loading area. So for that particular part of the request, we've talked with them on that over the past several months. Staff is able to support that as it does provide additional low growth shrubs for softening and planting variety than even would otherwise be required in the front yard. And it does arrange them in a way that puts them around the main entrance to the building and keeps them in view of the most public parts of the site. The second area where they're requesting to shift some of the parking lot trees that would be in some islands on this east row of parking. They are proposing to do that to help the arrangement of the building and of the parking. And so as they are with the low growth shrubs, the first item I mentioned. And so those trees will be shifted more into these center islands, and also abutting the parking to the west, as well as the north and the south. So the reason that we have the overstory tree requirement in our parking lot landscaping requirement is for shading and for a good balance and dispersal of shading. In this particular case, given that they are just shifting them to away from the building and into other areas of the parking lot, we still feel that that provides enough shading for the impervious area that we can support that part of the request as well. And then the final part of the request is to, as I mentioned, shift the low growth plantings, and which would probably also include one tree, out of this area into the area just east of the loading area. Staff, as we've reviewed that, we don't have an issue with that. Those trees would still shade the loading area to the east. And the shrubs are still provided there. That is actually still in front of that part of the building, between the building and the street. So it's really just more of a dispersal issue, shifting those out of that 8-foot area between the edge of paving and the property line. So ultimately, just to recap, we're able to support this due to the additional amount of plantings, the low growth plantings, shrubs and grasses that are being added, and they are still providing their required number of front yard trees here to the south of the building and east of the loading area, and then the parking lot trees, overstory trees in the parking lot. They do meet the rest of our base standard requirements for diversity of at least 2 different types of each planting. And the overstory trees also meet the minimum height and size that we require for overstory trees as well. So that sums up the proposal, and I can take any questions.
Any discussion?
I think it's a pretty clear proposal. I personally like the layout, and staff concurs that it meets the expectations. So
Would the applicant like to make a statement?
Well, hello. My name is Roger Thompson. I'm with Furniture Mart, and would love to be there with you in person tonight, but Mother Nature had different ideas. So I'm coming to you via phone. John Gady from Strand, our civil engineer, was going to be there. I'm assuming he is, but I can't see him.
Yes, he is.
So,
He is.
He is. So I think Justin summarized the project very thoroughly. It is kind of a unique site in that we're looking at a front yard that actually faces what we sort of think of as the side of our building. Given the orientation of Walmart and Target, we really felt strongly that our orientation should also be to the west. So we've designed our facility with that in thinking. So we're hopeful that we really think that this design will fit in well with the neighbors and still complement Southeast 5th Street as well, the south side. So I'd be open to any questions as well that you and the Planning Commission might have.
Any questions?
So I don't have any questions about the landscaping arrangement itself. I think it makes sense with the way that the building's laid out with the street patterns and everything. I think that makes sense. I was just going to ask, it's kind of an ancillary thing, but what direction stormwater runoff go at the site? Maybe you can answer that, John.
Yeah. Again, I'm John Gady. I'm with Strand and Associates right here in Ames, and tonight I'm representing Furniture Mart. We're really excited to be part of the design team to bring a Furniture Mart to the city of Ames. So I'm looking forward to that. Good question. We did the stormwater management on this project, and a key component with the storm management in this particular area is the city of Ames water wells. And so the city of Ames has a ordinance that generally prohibits stormwater detention within a certain amount of radius of your drinking water wells. And so those wells that Justin is showing there,
It's right there.
we follow within that zone radius where we can't really do a traditional underground storage detention system or a pond. So what we've done here is we attempted to do some stormwater management with integrated landscaping. And ultimately that did not work because of the layout and the amount of parking and everything that was required. And so what we end up doing is we installed, we call it a storm scepter. So it helps meet our water quality requirements for the city of Ames. We can't do the quality, which is the amount of volume of water, but we can meet the quality by installing this storm scepter.
I'm just curious. Can you describe what that is? What does that do? I'm not familiar with
It's basically a funnel that helps separate any type of trash and debris before it would get into our storm sewer system.
that. Okay.
It's an approved best management practice in the statewide urban design manual. They're expensive, and I believe we have to maintain them. But they do work and they do meet your code requirements.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any other questions? Thank you.
All right, thanks, Michael.
Is there anybody from the audience that would like to speak on the subject? And if you would, please state your name for the record.
Yeah, my name's Rod. I've been living in Ames for 8 years. And for this site in particular, on the west side, I guess we don't see it in the image here, there's a bus stop, as you know, 3 Blue, and it's a very popular bus stop. A lot of students and residents take to shop and get their groceries, especially, and there's no sidewalk. So, you know, with the weather in Iowa, the sidewalk gets really, or the grass there gets really disgusting over the summer, over the spring, over the fall. It's never actual grass. It's always like mud to the west side. Of the west part of that, it's not part of the site, but you know, this development is coming along. We have this opportunity to, we're already giving incentives for Furniture Mart to be here, which is great. We do need a furniture store, but I think not having a sidewalk on the west side that connects up to the Target and then to the Walmart in the south is kind of a really big missed opportunity, because you know, it's going to be built and then the sidewalk is not going to be added. We all know, because then the sidewalk on the other side would have been added, because it's one of the more busy bus stops, especially for a more commercial area in the south. So, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. That'd be more of an issue for the underlying property owner across the street, wouldn't it not?
Yeah, so the question of, I think what he's referring to is sidewalk connectivity to the north. So that part of the discussion, we're finalizing the details of the rest of the site plan with the owner currently. And so that would be part of that discussion. You're not being asked to review that or anything like that tonight. So yeah, that's a discussion that we've had. And I know at this point there are some plans for an upgrade to the bus stop on the northwest corner of the property. The standards would not require that there be a sidewalk that goes from the Southeast Fifth sidewalk to Target. So, however, there is still green space there that could be installed at a future date. But again, that would be, yeah, with the rest of the site plan details with staff.
Okay. Is there anybody else that would like to speak? Seeing none, we'll close it. Does anybody, city staff or anybody on the commission have any other concluding comments or questions?
I'll just jump in and add, like I said, we're finishing review of the rest of the items not related to the landscaping. So we'll probably be wrapping up the rest of the details on the site plan here pretty soon. And then after your decision on a recommendation tonight, this would go to the city council later this month.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion.
Move to recommend alternative 1. The Planning and Zoning Commission can recommend the City Council approve the major site development plan, alternative landscape plan for 329 Southeast 5th Street.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say nay. The motion passes. And that brings us to commission. Oh, I'm sorry.
Said thanks.
Oh, you're welcome. That brings us to our commission comments. Anybody have any questions or comments they would like to make about general subjects?
I just want to again thank city workers, city staff. I recently sold my acreage, and although it wasn't the city I was working with the county and the state actually. And I think they sometimes get a bad rap because they have to deliver financially hard news sometimes. And in the long run, in my case, it's become the best possible situation that I could have had in selling that beloved acreage, and that wouldn't have been possible, the things that we did to it, without the help of the county and the state workers. And I just want to extend that thank you to the city as well. I know city works hard with the county and cooperates with the county. So even when we complain about expenses and the paperwork, et cetera, I think there's a deep appreciation for your work.
Are there any staff comments? You have anything for us in Kelly's stead?
Let's see, not that comes to mind tonight. He was out of the country, so he'll be back here in a couple days, and he may have some things for you next time. I think there are a few items coming up at the next meeting potentially. So yeah, there might be a few things in the near future, at least in the next couple meetings.
If there is nothing else, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
All in favor?
Second.
I
Aye.
We're adjourned.